Hello, and welcome to the session on the University of British Columbia. I hope you are enjoying the Virtual Career Expo, and I hope you get a lot out of it from both this session and the sessions with other institutions. My name is Erica Triggs. I use the pronouns she and her, and I am a student recruiter advisor representing both campuses of the University of British Columbia, our Okanagan campus located in the city known as Kelowna, and our Vancouver campus as well. As we begin, it's very important to acknowledge the land on which our two campuses reside. Our Okanagan campus is located on Syilx Okanagan Nation territory, unceded territory in the city also known as Kelowna. And our Vancouver campus is located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. I am presenting to you today from my home in the city of Vancouver, which in addition to Musqueam is also the traditional unceded territory of the Squamish and Tsleil-Waututh nations. I'm grateful both personally and professionally to be able to live, learn, work, and play on these lands. I did my undergraduate degree in Kelowna and my master's in Vancouver, so I'm familiar and grateful to both cities and both communities. And I would also like to acknowledge the land on which each of you are joining from today, recognizing those could be different lands. I'd like to acknowledge and share gratitude with the traditional caretakers of your lands as well. A little bit more about myself. I am originally from BC. I'm from a city or a town perhaps called Kamloops, and that is also the traditional unceded territory of the Secwepemc. I have lived in, as you've heard, both Kelowna and Vancouver, and this shot here is on a trail called the Howe Sound Crest Trail, which is between Vancouver and Squamish, a community about an hour away from Vancouver. And I like to share this photo because I feel like it represents well what many students and other folks choose to come to BC for. People love our outdoor opportunities, are for the most part fairly temperate weather, and all of the activities that you can participate in, whether it's hiking, visiting the ocean and the lakes in the interior, perhaps skiing, snowboarding, and so many other wonderful opportunities. And potentially those are some things that would attract you to UBC and to BC as well. So you've heard a little bit about my story, and today we're going to talk a little bit about what your story could look like should you choose to come to UBC. So I am a graduate of both campuses, and maybe you are also interested in our Okanagan campus or our Vancouver campus. UBC's motto is Tuum Est, which in Latin is also translated to as it's yours or it's up to you. And I truly believe that is the case. You can make your undergraduate or potentially your graduate degree later on into exactly what you want it to be through both opportunities within the classroom, on our campuses, and via opportunities that come from joining UBC. As a student recruiter, I am not here to tell you that UBC is the best place for you. Of course, you are the only one that can decide that. I'm definitely here to help you determine if UBC might be a good fit for you and share some information to help you make that all-important decision. Today, in this 20 to 30 minutes, we are going to chat through a few of the different opportunities. We're going to chat through our communities that you'd be exploring if you join us, what our learning environment looks like, and of course, opportunities to share your learning both inside and outside the classroom. First up, we will take a look at our campuses and communities. So here are our two campuses. We have from nativeland.ca, and grateful for this visual and being able to share it. Our Vancouver campus is located in the southern coast of BC, so in the lower mainland as it's also known. And then on the right-hand side there is our Okanagan campus, which again is about a 4-hour drive or a 1-hour flight. So not too far away, especially if you have perhaps friends and family at the other campus or in the other city, it's not too far to go and visit. We'll chat more about our Okanagan campus first. And it is located in the wonderful city of Kelowna. And as you can see here, Kelowna is a great place to be an outdoor enthusiast, whether you are a hiker, biker, skier, snowboarder, or whether you like being by the water. The Okanagan Lake is right in the center of Kelowna. Lots of opportunities to go to the beach, explore the lake, and take advantage of all that the city has to offer. In the top right corner there is one of the tech hubs in Kelowna. If you're a person who's interested in a career or perhaps part-time work in the tech sector, Kelowna is known as a bit of a Silicon Valley of the North, and there's lots of opportunities there. Our Okanagan campus is the smaller of our two campuses, though very much still a mid-sized institution with about 10,500 undergraduate students. We have students from all around the world, and we have a significant population of Indigenous students as well. So if being part of one of those communities is important to you, then we definitely have that to offer. Moving over to our Vancouver campus, located on unceded Musqueam territory. This is a shot of pretty much the center of campus, looking away from the ocean. This is Main Mall, where lots of students walk. It gets very busy when classes are changing, and it's a wonderful place with great views, as you can see. If you haven't visited the city of Vancouver, beautiful, also on the water, like Kelowna, except the ocean, of course. Vancouver is a very cosmopolitan city, and our campus is still only about 20 minutes away from downtown Vancouver. And that's by bus, and about the same by bike, if that's up your alley. So lots of access to the city, but then the campus itself is a bit of a city within the city of Vancouver. And as you can see here, it is the larger of our two campuses, but I hope that doesn't intimidate you if you are interested in coming to a bigger center. Lots of students find that they build their communities within the larger community. You might have your residence community, perhaps your intramural community, and of course, a community within the program that you are studying. So let's talk about the learning experience at UBC. So for those of you that are familiar with UBC, you might already know this stat, but this is something that was certainly important to me when I was selecting my school coming out of high school a number of years ago. I wanted to go to a school that was well known and well recognized, not just in Canada, but also globally. So I appreciate that UBC is ranked consistently as a top 3 school within Canada and also a top 40 in the world. So whether you want to take your further education or your career abroad after you have some time at UBC, UBC's reputation can certainly help carry you along as well. And we are hearing from more and more students these days that it's not just the reputation of the institution, but it's also the reputation of the individual program that you are studying that might draw you to UBC and also might make the decision of where you are going to study. So we're very proud that many of our programs are ranked in the top 20 globally. So you know that your program is going to be very strong, the faculty members you're learning from will be strong, and you'll be amongst some pretty smart peers as well. UBC overall, we are a larger school, which offers lots of opportunities. The undergraduate degree is what you would start out by applying to, and then majors and specializations are something that you would typically work towards starting in year 2 or year 3. You don't need to know exactly what you want to study within those broader degree topics, such as Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, though things like a major in psychology or a minor in chemistry are things that can come a little bit later on. We also offer many, many different combinations. So perhaps if you're a student who's passionate about both science and music, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to give up one for the other. There's lots of ways to pursue both, or maybe even more than 2 topics at the same time. All right, so maybe you're a student that already knows exactly what you want to study, and if yes, that's great. But if you are uncertain or have no idea at all, that is more than okay as well. This is the first introduction I'll give you to our prospective student website, you.ubc.ca. And this is where you can enter some broader subject areas that you're interested in. Maybe that's social justice, maybe that's environmental science. You can key that in to the search bar here, and then it will share programs that are relevant to what you've entered as a great way to start filtering down which programs you might want to apply to with us. All right. And outside of the classroom and variations on classroom learning, there is so much to share. So we'll tap into a few more of these subjects. These are things that lots of universities have. So I'm going to share a little bit about what UBC does differently. First up, undergraduate research. Research is the creation of new knowledge. So chances are you've already done a little bit of it. Maybe you've done some of your own research online about subjects or topics that you're particularly keen on. Research is something that sometimes students and parents think won't come until a graduate degree or a master's degree, but this is very much a thing that you can start pursuing right from the undergraduate degree level. You could be working with some of your favorite faculty members, creating some new knowledge, working on projects with them. And this can certainly translate well if you're looking for entrance to a professional program, maybe medicine, dentistry, law, things like that later on as well. And we also know that many students are coming to university, of course, with the intention of gaining great work experience and earning a good job after they graduate. So our co-op program is the second largest in Canada, and we have, as you can see, thousands of different placements of work experience, both throughout BC, across Canada, and all around the world. So if you'd like to apply your classroom learning to the workforce and hopefully graduate with some job offers on the table, our co-op program, which is offered in virtually all of our undergraduate programs, is a great way to go. And these are a few of the different employers that we've worked with. If you have your sights set on any of these, then again, we might be able to help get you there. Great, and so many opportunities to get involved on campus. And we have, whether it's an event, a day-long event that you want to get involved in, whether you are coming to UBC with hopes of meeting other students who maybe want to ski, snowboard, maybe you want to learn to sail. We have all of those clubs. And there's also some fun and silly ones like the ice cream club as well. For students that are looking towards those longer term professional goals, whether it is becoming a teacher, going into law, or any other sort of professional program, there are also student clubs focused on that in particular, so you can network with other students with the same goals and share tips and tricks. Go Global is our study abroad program, and one of my favorite things to talk about. This is where you can go to university in another country, to another school for sometimes maybe a month or two, sometimes up to a full calendar year. You can go and study somewhere else. You'll continue to only pay the same UBC tuition fees that you are currently paying, which makes it a lot more affordable than many students might think. We have hundreds of different partner institutions, and the national average of students that study abroad at UBC is about 20%, and the national average is actually only about 4%. So UBC takes their international opportunities very seriously, and we would love to send you around the globe, sometimes even more than once if you're keen to. And if you are a student that wants to play sports with us, whether that is on a varsity team or whether that is a little bit more informally, such as an intramural team or sort of a pickup hockey team, those opportunities all exist. Be sure to check out our Thunderbird and our Heat websites, and that's where you can start the conversation with the coach. And of course, for things like intramurals, that's easy to pick up once you start at UBC. All right, residence life. This is something that we hope many students look forward to with us. UBC has the largest student housing offering in Canada, and that's at both campuses. So we have many, many, many beds at both campuses to go around. We offer a first-year guarantee. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But you'll be able to live with other students, learn from them, make friends, and learn some great skills, everything from cooking to laundry and so much more. So that is a quick summary of some of the additional learning opportunities that we have to offer. And let's chat about admissions now. So today's information will apply a little bit more so to students who are currently in grade 12, but for any grade 10s, grade 11s, or future students joining us, a lot of this information will apply to you in future years as well. So I'm anticipating that by tuning into this presentation, you're currently in high school, but know that applying to us directly from high school is not the only route that you can go. Lots of other ways to do this, whether you want to attend a local college or university first and maybe transfer to UBC later on. We offer a number of different pathways for Indigenous students. Some of these pathways start in BC. And then, of course, we also have direct entry for students who do choose to apply to us while in grade 12. When you are ready to apply to us, you will be applying through what's called a common application here, Education Planner BC. As long as you go to our website, you.ubc.ca, it'll redirect you right here. We just want you to make sure that you know that this is the next step in our application process. So, a couple different steps for you to know about. First step, you will be selecting what you want to study and where you want to study it. When you are applying to UBC, you always get 2 program choices, and they are ranked accordingly. You have a first choice and a second choice. So you might be a student that is really excited to study one of our media studies programs. You can actually apply to media studies at both campuses. Maybe Okanagan is your top choice, Vancouver is your second, but you can rank them accordingly. Media studies at Okanagan, choice 1, media studies at Vancouver, choice 2. Maybe you have your heart set on the Vancouver campus and maybe you're a little bit more science-minded. Another way to focus your 2 application choices would be choosing 2 at the same campus. Maybe that is engineering as your first choice at Vancouver and science as your second choice at Vancouver. Lots of different ways to go about it, but be sure to put some time and thought into what you want to study and which campuses you're most keen on. All right, looking up your requirements. So of course, you want to make sure that your application has the best chances to succeed. So do refer to our website to make sure that you've got the right high school courses in order to be admissible to the programs that you choose to apply to. you.ubc.ca is exactly what you're looking for. So you're going to have some program specific requirements. You're going to have some general admission requirements, generally graduating from high school, and some minimum English. We'll talk a little bit more about the 6 courses shortly on, but we have websites specific to Saskatchewan, so you can select the proper campus for you. You can select your campus and your program and Saskatchewan, and you will be good to go. So when you choose to apply, these are some of the things that we're looking for and some of the ways that we'll be processing your application. We will be looking for students that chose to challenge themselves academically. And this doesn't necessarily need to look like a large course load. It can for some students, but other ways that you can challenge yourself might be by taking an AP, an advanced placement course, potentially an IB or International Baccalaureate course if your school offers it, or potentially the full IB diploma. Other ways to challenge yourself are by taking courses outside of your general subject area. Maybe you are an art student, you have potentially English courses, law courses, social studies, humanities, things like that. Maybe you choose to challenge yourself by taking a physics course. That is a great way to go. There is no right or wrong answer here. Challenging yourself is very much a personal thing, so you can make that best decision for yourself. We will be, of course, looking for good grades. UBC has many competitive programs, so earning high grades, particularly in grade 11 and 12, will certainly help your application. And last step, we do look for your courses to be related to your area of intended study. So of course, we want to see some demonstrated success in what you're studying in order to admit you. Again, that doesn't mean that you can't take courses outside of your main area. That is also great and shows that you're a well-rounded student, but proven success in arts courses if you want to pursue an arts degree later on. Arts generally being, again, social sciences, humanities, things like that, languages as well. Those can be a great place to demonstrate your success as you apply. All right, and completing your application. So first up is going to be the grades component. This is where you will enter all of your grades, the courses that you've taken in grade 11, the courses that you're taking in grade 12, and marks that you have available when you are actually submitting your application to us is what you'll enter. And the application will walk you through all of that. And in addition to that, we'll ask you for updated grade information in the spring, usually around February or March. So that's when we'll get an updated sense of how you're doing within grade 12. The personal profile is the second main component of our application, and it is fairly unique to UBC. So this is a series of short answer questions where you can tell us a little bit more about who you are as an individual, what's important to you, what you've learned both in the classroom, outside the classroom, and you can talk about your accomplishments and all sorts of other things that you want to share. There's not, again, one specific answer. We're not looking for a certain type of student. We're looking for a wide, diverse range of students. So rather than think of what do we want you to say, think of what do you want to tell us? And that often shines through very well in the personal profile. In regards to the personal profile, we certainly encourage you to spend some time on this. The questions are posted on the website, so you can always take a look at them well before you actually start your application. And some of our top tricks for this: takes time to reflect. Think about these things before you actually submit your responses. It'll certainly pay off in the long run. Be specific. Many times students will talk about great things that they've done, but without concrete examples or going into some detail, it can be hard to understand the magnitude of how fantastic that accomplishment was. So put lots of thought into it. Maybe have someone else take a look at your responses, not necessarily proofread, but just give some feedback. And that can also really pay off. And be true to who you are. If something is important to you, tell us about it. We're not here to judge what that is. We're here to learn more about you. All right, and if you do want some further resources on writing your personal profile, again, that all-important website, you.ubc.ca, is going to be a great place to go. Check it out. There's some videos and some other great examples to help you on your way. So how these pieces all come together is once we receive your application and the application from many other students across Canada, first up, we will be looking at your grades. Second up, that supplementary information, including your personal profile for students applying to Sauder in Vancouver, which is our business program. You'll also have a video interview, and a variety of our fine arts and arts programs will also have a portfolio requirement as well. So do stay tuned to your specific program for those options. Together, we take all of those components, we do an overall evaluation, and we will compare your application to other students that have applied, and then we will make as many offers as we can to the top students. Great. In terms of dates and deadlines, December 1 is the day that I encourage all grade 12 students to apply by. This is an important day for two main reasons. It is our early admissions deadline. Early admissions, meaning if we can already see that you have strong grades, we might be able to make you an offer of admission as early as about February and March. So it can be great for many students to have as many university offers on the table as early as possible to make that all important decision about where you want to go. The second important factor is this is our scholarships deadline. We have two main types of scholarships. Our Presidential Scholars Awards, which go up to $80,000, are for the top students, the students with the top grades and the top personal profile. If you apply by December 1st and tick off within the application that you want to be considered, you will automatically be considered there. Our second type of scholarship is our Centennial Scholars Entrance Awards. And these are for students who are also strong, but also demonstrate financial need. So if you're a student who anticipates that coming to UBC or maybe coming to university in general might be outside of the financial reach of you and your family, do take a look at this additional application. You can find it on the same website and fill out the application and submit it by December 1, along with your main application to join UBC. And if you miss that December 1st deadline, you do technically have until January 15th, but there's no reason not to apply by December 1. So certainly take a look at that deadline and shoot for applying early. If you do want to live with us in student housing, this is one of our Vancouver campus residences, and it truly does have an ocean view, which is amazing. First year housing is guaranteed so long as you have applied to UBC, accepted your offer, and applied to student housing, which is a separate application, and submitted that housing application by May 1. You will be guaranteed a spot in first year housing if you accept your admissions offer by the deadline and also apply to housing. So we look forward to having you live with us in that first year. All right, finances is a big part of the consideration for many students. So again, December 1 is that scholarship deadline. March and April is typically when we make our scholarship offers to students. And these are additional dates for if you are looking for financial support, such as government student loans, potentially the UBC bursary program. These can be two very significant sources of funding for students. And at both campuses, we will have financial advisors to walk you through the steps, potentially make a budget and learn about all of your financial options. We do encourage students to be familiar with how much UBC and university in general will cost. These are our rates or our estimated costs for a number of the big components. Tuition, of course, our tuition is typically about $1,000 below the national average. So while you might be worrying that UBC will be very expensive, the tuition may be a little bit cheaper than you think. Room and board, that's a rough cost there, whether you are considering living on student residence on one of our 2 campuses, or potentially moving to Vancouver or Kelowna and living within the city. Additional costs can include things like transportation to and from home, your cell phone, maybe that startup cost of a laptop, and other additional costs, haircuts, personal things, and a bit of entertainment. We have a very handy tool called the cost calculator. This is where you can enter in your individual costs, any sort of financial support you might have, any other costs that you want to consider. And this is a great way to start planning for it as you're applying to UBC. And then potentially, if you do decide to join us later on, this is what you can use to create a budget from. All right. So we have shared quite a bit of information in a relatively short span of time. I hope this has helped you get a sense of what UBC is all about and the opportunities that might exist for you if you join us. And we have a few more ways for you to keep in touch with us. We are still doing virtual tours at the moment. So if you'd like a tour of either of our 2 campuses, we have many current students who would love to show you around virtually. Again, the same website, jump on, register for a tour, and we'll see you there. We will be hosting lots of other events for students all across Canada, sometimes for students in Saskatchewan in particular. And that same website will show you events that will pertain to you. And of course, you're always welcome to reach out to us as well. That is my email address there. You're very welcome to contact me, admissions questions, UBC questions, whatever you have, I'd be very happy to receive that email. And for any students that self-identify as Indigenous, I have a wonderful colleague, Chloe Erlinson, who would be very happy to chat with you, introduce you to resources to the community, and get you started if UBC seems like a good fit for you. So thank you very much for everyone. I will also be joining the chat element of this event. So hopefully I get to chat with some of you live. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and we look forward to hearing from you and receiving your application potentially. Thank you so much.